employees in the organization. To be very careful. क्लासरूम में अभी होता है, कभी लड़के गालियां देते हैं लड़कियों के सामने, लड़की भी कभी कभी गालियां देते हैं. आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट दैट. When you go in office, you have to be very careful and about your surroundings. गलती से कभी गाली निकल भी जाती है, so you must say sorry to that lady. I'm sorry for the bad word. Please accept my apologies. You have to maintain a distance. You might be a very good friend. You and your girlfriend, boyfriend, they are working together. Yes, no issues. बहुत सारी कंपनीज में देते ही नहीं है ऐसे काम करने को. They transfer you to different places. But if at all you're working, you must remember, you must stay within the boundaries of professionalism. कॉलेज वॉलेज में सब चलता है, इंडस्ट्री में नहीं चलता. Image is very important. So I don't care if I'm clear at my heart. Yes, agreed. But then, if I'm clear at my heart, so I can't start misbehaving with ladies in the office. No, I cannot. I have handled such cases wherein a case came to me wherein the boy misbehaved with a girl in the office premises, and then we were asked to, give the verdict or tell or give a judgment as to who is right and who is wrong. And the situation was very tough. I can't disclose final details. They are a bit disturbing, so I cannot tell you that. But then such situations do come. Forwarding abnormal WhatsApp messages to girls, it's a part of cyber crime. You have to be very careful what you're forwarding. एक बार हमारे एक ग्रुप में हुआ था, हमारी कंपनी में हमारा बॉयज गर्ल्स पूरे डिपार्टमेंट का ग्रुप था एंड हमारा मेल्स का अलग ग्रुप था. तो मेल्स के अलग ग्रुप में बहुत कुछ होता था जो यहाँ पे नहीं डिस्कस होता था. लेट मी बी वेरी अपफ्रंट विद यू. बट by mistake, one person, he posted some message which was meant for that mail group on the open group. And one of the female members on that group, she objected to that. And that person was asked to give an apology letter in writing. Though WhatsApp is said to be informal way of communication, but then she lodged a complaint with HR. So he had to give a written apology to that lady. See how humiliating that could be. So you have to take care. See, मैं भी गालियां देता हूँ, मैं ना नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, but has anyone heard me using bad words? Any of the girls or boys must have, but then girls never. Ask my girl ladies faculties in the college, never ever. So you have to maintain that decorum. When I'm with my friends, college friends, even my female friends, that time it's okay, but they are my friends. Here, the environment is official. You have to be very careful, very careful, very careful. I told you all, कभी कभी लोग बोलते हैं रेगे है क्या. अभी last year एक बात हुई थी. I mean, I was shifted to new cabin and that cabin is open from the top. And the guy was standing in front of outside the cabin, assuming that I cannot hear him. ऊपर से खुला था, वो जोर से बोल रहे रेगे आए क्या रे आप. मैं अंदर से चिल्लाया, हाँ है ना, आए करके. तो वो भागा. I ran behind him, नीचे जाके उसको पकड़ा था. कुछ किया नहीं, but I gave him that ज्ञान that be careful when you say such things. Anybody else in my place he would have landed in big time trouble. You have to take care of that. Okay, so I think I answered your question, Neeraj, extensively. सर कुछ शॉर्ट में बताओ ना. नहीं यार, शॉर्ट में नहीं आता है, बताने का तो पूरा बताने का. चलो बोलो. Any other question? Yeah, Neeraj. Yeah, anyone else also? Please, it's not only Neeraj and me. Others can also ask questions. हाँ जी, बोलो.
Sir, I'm audible, right?
Yes,
I
darling.
have a question to ask. Like you mentioned, our performance is all that counts. But here, when in Parle Agro, where you worked and you proved that, as a, I can't say, as a punishment sort of, she asked you to go into sales. And here she saw that you have more potential. I mean, she pointed that out and then she started keeping a grudge. Of course, you performed well, but she started keeping a grudge. So, I mean, that's somewhere incorrect, right?
It is incorrect,
So
but it
what
was
would
her
you say
father's
about it?
company. No, it was her father's company. It wasn't my father's company. And she felt bad because she was heading the sales and marketing team. And by saying that salespeople are not doing anything or they are at fault, indirectly the allegation was on her. No? The blame came on her that she and her team is not doing well. So usko insulting laga, and then she asked me to go and sell. But then I took it in positive way, in this way that I got an opportunity to work in area which was not my core competency. And my sincere advice to you all is, and considering that CFX thing, whatever happens with that, if you get an opportunity to work in sales field, that's the best place to start your career. Because for reaching the top, you need to understand the revenue model of any company, that is income model of any company. And for understanding income model, you need to work in sales. So if you work in sales for even for 6 months, it becomes easier for you to understand the entire business of the company. And effectively, for becoming a CEO of the company, and you being a management student, Darlene, for you to become a CEO of the company, you must understand the business of the company. Besides accounts, finance, costing, all those things you are expected to know because you're a MBA or a BMS student. But then top of that, you need to understand the business as well. When these BFM guys, when they invest in company, it's not just the share of that particular company, it is the company itself in that they are investing. So they cannot say, okay, we are investing in Asian Paint, but Asian Paint ka share अच्छा हो रहा है तो हम लोग उसमें डाल रहे हैं. But what businesses Asian Paint is into? They need to understand that. From where the revenue is generated, they need to understand that. So it's highly essential to work in sales. So I took it that way that yeah, मैं sales में काम करूंगा, मुझे कुछ नया मालूम पड़ेगा. And in fact, there I found that how these dealers and distributors and retailers, they abuse these sales guys. अरे तुम्हारा कंपनी तो चोर है और भी बहुत कुछ है which I can't say over here. बहुत बार ऐसे सुनाई पड़ता था. And one interesting thing I got to know that Hippo pack, that I've told some of them, but then let me tell it for the benefit of entire group. That Hippo packet, it had a photo of hippopotamus. Okay. But then when I was selling it in Jogeshwari West, in Muslim dominating area, there the people gave me a feedback that it looks like a pork or a pig. And in Muslim community, pork or pig is considered to be, I don't know the word, but usko bura mana jata hai. They don't appreciate that. So they said we don't buy it because हमें लगता है कि ये सुअर का मुंह है इसके ऊपर. बोले यार ये सुअर नहीं है, ये हिप्पोपोटामस है, ये गेंडा है. But they don't believe in that. So I came and gave this fruitful feedback to that lady, saying that this is how a particular section of the society is thinking about our product. We should improve on it. So ये चीज मुझे ऑफिस में बैठ के या मेरे रूम में बैठ के नहीं मालूम पड़ती थी, which I got to know because I went in the market. So I looked at it from the positive point of view. And now after that tour to market, now I can talk to anybody on the road. Even if you tell me to speak to any unknown person, कुछ तो पहचान निकाल के I can start talking to that person. कुछ भी कहीं से connect करके I'll prove it to him that he knows me and I know him. I can talk to anyone on the road, unknown person also. So that confidence I got. So you have to look out for positive things in every negative thing that is happening. Okay, so life goes on. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone from BCom, BMS, BBI, BAF, BFM, MCom? Yeah, any other question? We still have 10-15 minutes. Yeah, Isha, Janvi, Ishan, Madhura, Runal, Mihika, Sahil, Sakshi, Sandhya, Shreya, Shubham. See, just now I told you how important it is to keep on asking questions. That CEO of mine used to ask so many questions, and that used to keep me on my toes all the time. कि ये कब क्या पूछेगी? And later on they created some, they put in some inquiry on me because there's Hippo. We were getting it manufactured from a third party manufacturer to whom we were paying some charges. And the elder sister started putting allegation on me that you're making wrong calculations and you're siphoning out funds and all that. I said, you get it checked. So she deployed a specific auditor to check what calculations I'm doing, and he went through entire calculation, and the mistake was 800 rupees, and that too, it was excess that our company had collected. It was not that we had paid excess to the supplier; we got excess from the supplier. So you have to be perfect with your working. So if your calculations are perfect, if your conscience is perfect, If your credibility is at stake, then you will perform well, and you will never get stuck in any such political things that are happening in the corporate world. So you have to, eventually it's knowledge and then performance. That's the key. Yeah, your degrees, qualifications, सब कुछ है, लेकिन eventually it's knowledge and performance. Yeah. Anything else? Vaishnavi, voice of MLDC, बोलो. No question? Jayashri गायब हो गई. Yeah, she's having tea probably. Rachika, Prachi, come on. We still have 10, 15, rather 16 minutes now. Chalo. Yeah. So any question? I think Bhavya is not there. Otherwise, she would have asked few more questions. Yeah, darling, any other question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Think about it. Huh? Chalo, think about it. Aditi, Utsav, Pratika, have you all gone through any such situation? You can discuss it with me without disclosing the confidential details, of course. If you have faced any such situation, whatever I have told you today, and if you have handled it differently, or you were not in a position to handle it and you want me to help you out in that, then you can discuss it openly, no problem, without giving the absolute details, without giving names and all that. If you have anything to discuss, yeah, Neeraj.
सर सर व्हाट
Yes.
अबाउट 9 to 5 वाला मिथ जो जनरेट हुआ है, मतलब कि 9 to 5 जॉब कॉर्पोरेट में, बट वो एक्चुअली होता नहीं है.
नहीं, though, see, especially for those who are working in accounts, finance, costing, या corporate office में जो भी काम कर रहे हैं ना, 9 to 5 job, forget about, कहीं भी नहीं. I don't think there is any company wherein people leave sharp at 5, unless it's a government company. आजकल government company में भी नहीं निकलते 5. Because what happens, priorities are different. Now, invariably, wherever I worked in multinational companies, I had to work beyond 5 because we used to work according to their timings. Now, Germany used to close at 8 o'clock. इंडिया टाइम मीन्स उनका डे एंड होगा तभी इंडिया में रात के 8 बजे होंगे. सो आई हैड टू वर्क टिल इट, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Nowadays, now that we have work from home and all that, yes, at least you can be available over phone or on Zoom calls and all that. But then those days when such facilities were not there, there was no choice but to be in the office. अरे यूएस टाइमिंग से होता था. In my last company, Classic Strides, our MD used to go to US and from Chicago he used to call me and he will ask me, अरे सो रहा था क्या, अबे रात को 3 बजे सोएंगे नहीं तो क्या करेंगे इंडिया में. So he would say that, हाँ, this is slightly urgent, can you just help. हाँ चलो, मुझे उठने का, फिर I have to make tea for myself, चाय पी के काम करने बैठो, रात को ही उसको बना के भेज दो, and next day morning go to my office as per India time. करना पड़ता था because US is 12 hours. So abhi it's 5 o'clock in the evening, there it's 5 a.m. Are you getting it? So वो रात को 3 बजे, उधर के दोपहर के 3 बजते थे, तो आफ्टरनून 3 o'clock वहां से वो फोन करेंगे, बट यहाँ पे वो 3 a.m. है यार, तो क्या करे, उठना पड़ता था. और फोन नहीं उठाओगे ऐसे चलेगा नहीं, बिकॉज कंपनी यूज्ड टू पे माय रेजिडेंशियल फोन, दे यूज्ड टू पे माय मोबाइल फोन, दे यूज्ड टू पे माय इंटरनेट चार्जेस. खरीद लिया, नो चॉइस. So 9 to 5 वाली चीज भूल जाओ. That's the reason I called you all on holiday today, just to give you a feel of how it feels to work on holidays. मुझे अभी फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, कुछ भी होता है तो I can work. And in Parle Agro, let me tell you, the priorities were so high na. It was an Indian company, but then वो product launch और product pricing और कितना discount देना है, it was so important over there. And when my dad was getting operated for brain surgery, I was sitting outside the operation theater and I was working on something. When I told my boss, that lady, that my dad is getting operated, I need a holiday. So why holiday? He's getting operated. So what? She's asking me, so what? I said, ma'am, brain surgery. Then she'll say, okay, take a holiday, but then be available. Be available means के laptop लो, internet connection लगाओ और काम करो. While he was being operated, I was sitting outside the operation theater and doing work. No choice. Absolutely no choice. Yeah, Jayashri.
So many a times it does happen that even though you are taking a leave, it is expected to be available and being available ultimately doing the work, but we are not being paid for that particular day.
It happens. What to do? See, once you will reach that managerial level or executive level or officer level, the position where you all will be joining, that there is no overtime. Overtime is given to direct laborers now. Jayashri, you understand what is direct laborer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so those who are working directly on production activities, they get overtime. Other staff, we don't. I never got overtime in my life. Even if I used to work, at the most, the facility that was given to us was you can take a cool cab to your house
But sir, it is
and you can
expected
have lunch.
available.
Sorry.
So it is expected us to be available, and being available is doing work from home. So
See, there are ways and means. Now, be
okay.
available. There are reasons like when you can be available and when you cannot be available. Like for example, there are bosses who will tell you for the sake of it कि छुट्टी पे जा रहा है ना इसको तंग करते हैं ना जयश्री I want you to be available continuously please don't disconnect my calls or please don't miss my calls. There are bosses who feel that हाँ इनको सताना ही है कैसे भी करके छुट्टी पे ऐसे भी बॉस होते हैं ऐसे लोगों के साथ आपको you have to play a trick. मेरी एक कंपनी में एक बंदा था आईटी वाला उसमें उसका जो कॉलर ट्यून रखा था ना वो उसने ये रखा था की ज्या माणसाला तुम्ही कॉन्टॅक्ट करण्याचा प्रयत्न करत आहात तो सध्या नेटवर्क कव्हरेज क्षेत्राच्या बाहेर आहे दिस वॉज हिज कॉलर ट्यून. The person you're trying to reach is out of coverage area. This was his caller tune. Means if I used to call him, पहले मुझे यही सुनाई देगा and I might disconnect the call assuming that this guy is not available. He was IT head of our company. तो बोल रहे अरे यार करना पड़ता है ऐसा रे नहीं तो जान खाएगा एमडी मेरी करके. तो ऐसे भी करते हैं लोग. मैंने भी बहुत बार झूठ बोला है मेरे ऑफिस में. मेरे मेरे इतने रिलेटिव्स मारे हैं मैंने यू विल नॉट बिलीव. मेरे इतने अंकल आंटी दादी दादाजी नानी नाना जो पहले ही चले गए ऐसे लोगों को मैं पहुंचाता था because if I have to go for an interview I cannot tell my boss that I'm going for an interview so I would say boss अरे हम लोग तो वो ₹5 वाला जिलेट पेस्टो बैग में लेके घूमते थे because go like this and say that my aunt expired so I have to go for a funeral okay go नीचे आया बाइक के मिरर में देख के ब्लेड घुमाया and then go for an interview ऐसे भी किया है ऐसे भी किया है. Once I was interviewed in one of the companies and the chairman of Parle Agro called. He said, Rege, come to office immediately. I said, boss, my blood pressure is high. I cannot come. No, it's very urgent. Please come. Please take a cab and come. I said, I can't drive. So please come. करके और मैं वहां से इंटरव्यू देके I was on my way back to my home. टैक्सी में आना था मैं. मेरे पास सीवी बीवी सब पेपर थे. ओके ऑल वर फोटोकॉपीज नन ऑफ द ओरिजिनल्स. मैंने सब वो फाड़ के फेंक दिया. वो जो टैक्सी वाला था उसको बोला ये मेरी फाइल है ये ले लो आप करके. ओके बाल वाल थोड़े से ऐसे ऐसे बिखरा दिए. जो शर्ट I was in absolute formals yeah. And I reached that factory. इतने में वो chairman called up. Okay Rege if you're not well so go I mean be at home and relax we will talk about it tomorrow करके. टैक्सी वाले को बोला घुमा टैक्सी अंदर जा रही थी फैक्ट्री के अंदर टैक्सी हमने उल्टी घुमाई और मैं घर पे लेके गया टैक्सी. I was just saved. So after that I started carrying one dirty shirt with me in my bag. I mean, ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन हुआ तो शर्ट चेंज करके वो डाल के जाने का कि मेरा आई एम नॉट फीलिंग वेल ऐसे करके. Once I was sitting with him the same chairman and I was supposedly not well. Actually I was well but I was supposedly not well. And what I did was when he was becoming he was raising his temper. What I did is I did like this. And hey, okay Sarvata, are you fine go, just take care. तो पूरा टेम्परेचर नीचे आ जाता है. So all these tricks of trades you have to play over there. There's no choice. क्या कर सकते हैं वो लोग क्या कर सकते हैं. Otherwise living a normal life was impossible. You go on vacation, these guys will call you. You are in a meeting or you have some personal commitments and these guys will call you. My son had a thread ceremony and my boss was calling me like mad. And for what? Where the file is being kept. तो ये सब सिचुएशन में आपको डील करना पड़ता है. You can't help it. Now, strictly speaking, under the ethical code of conduct, you may say, sir, आप झूठ बोल रहे थे, that means you're wrong. Yes. But otherwise, you tell me a situation, how do you survive? People call you. Now, yeah, there are certain situations wherein people would call you. Now, in our college, Doke sir calls us at times. But when there's an absolute emergency, that time only he calls. Some matter related to admission, some matter related to result. He will call us, but not otherwise. क्या रे क्या कर रहा है आजा कॉलेज में ऐसे नहीं फोन उधर वैसे होता है. So there are certain situations like to give you one example, in Mahindra and Mahindra only, we were to remit some 300-400 crore rupees to Stoke Forging in London, and it was to be done before that particular time gap. RTGS का या मतलब it wasn't RTGS, it was a wire transfer. So उसके पहले एक particular time के पहले करना होता है so that RBI will approve it. So for that thing, my boss was calling me urgently one day. So I had to go to the office on my holiday and work. Such cases are okay. But when you work with certain people, you will get to know कि किनको किस तरह. Now I never lied in Fiat. मैंने कभी भी कुछ भी झूठ नहीं बोला Fiat में. Because there I could tell my boss that boss I'm going for an interview. हाँ जा करके वो भेजेगा. But if I start telling this in Parle Agro, I'm going for an interview, वो तो जान खा जाते थे मेरा. So उधर झूठ बोलना पड़ता था. क्या कर सकते हैं? So I'm not advocating that you should tell lies, but when it is required, there is no choice. There is no choice. तो आपकी पर्सनल लाइफ की पूरी बैंड बजा देंगे लोग. There's something called as work-life balance. It's only work. Life तो है ही नहीं फिर. I've seen my son growing horizontally because when I used to leave my home, he was asleep. When I used to return back late at night, he was asleep. But still, I made it a point to attend all his functions, seminars, and all his performances in the college and school. वो सब मैं जाता था. I mean, हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर में स्पेशली ये जोक कहा जाता था कि वहां के बच्चों को उनकी माँ बताती है कुछ सालों बाद के बेटा ये है तेरे डैडी करके. Because they have never seen their parents or dads actually. तो सुबह जाएंगे रात को आएंगे मालूम ही नहीं है कौन है. So ऐसा सिचुएशन आता है तो आपको थोड़ा सा गेम खेलना पड़ता है. लॉर्ड कृष्णा को फॉलो करो, लॉर्ड राम को नहीं. सच बोल के कुछ नहीं, इतना नहीं मिलता है कुछ. ठीक है आपको झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए, बट इफ यू हैव सम जेन्युइन रीजन you have to do that. Yeah, anything else? Any question? Ishan, Neeraj, any closing remarks from you?
No sir, got it.
So please don't think कि सर हमको झूठ बोलना सिखा रहे हैं. नहीं, मैं आपको ये सिखा रहा हूँ कि किनसे झूठ बोलना चाहिए और किनसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए. I never said anything lies in L&T. कभी भी किसी से कुछ भी झूठ नहीं बोला बॉस. But yeah, Yashri.
So, many a times it does happen that fellow colleagues might say that they won't be able to, meet up during the meeting because they have some important assignments to be given. As an intern, that might be a good excuse. So we all agreed to it. Okay, after half an hour you can join the meeting, and we were still waiting for that particular person to join the meeting. And it was an offline meeting. And later she was a female, of course. Then she was sharing few photos, like went to spa and everything.
Okay.
And just before the meeting, I was 5 minutes late, and I got nicely from my sir. And she gave a reason that she was not able to join the meeting early because she had to give some assignments. But actually, the work was something else. So it was like me being 5 minutes late, I got the scolding. She being 30 minutes late, giving a false reason for the assignment, but that was not a true reason. So these kinds of things does happen, and most of the time, we being very true we at times we really feel bad.
No, what you could have done is, if you know that your boss is such that wherein you can't even be late by 5 minutes, while entering the meeting room itself, you should have started, I'm so sorry, boss, I got stuck in the lift, I got stuck in the traffic, I got stuck in XYZ. झूठ तो झूठ बोल देना चाहिए. About that other friend of yours who went into spa and whatnot, that is beyond your control. See, हिंदी में कहावत है, जो पकड़ा जाता है वो चोर है. आप पकड़ी गई, that's it. वो नहीं पकड़ी गई. So you shouldn't, boss वो देखो स्पा में थी वो, आप, we shouldn't go into that level. But then, as I always tell you all during lectures, now if the lecture is at 7:30, assume that the lecture is at 7:15 and start from your place. Then you will never be late. Have you, Jayashri or Aditi, you can tell me, have you ever seen me late by even a minute? Because I tell myself that my lecture is at 7:20. Kabhi network gaya, that's okay. But other than that, it is, you have to plan it with a backward calculation. Then you will never be late. I told you all, Anand Mahindra, if you're late by, he will enter the room. 9 means 9, he'll come in. And if you're late by 9, you come by 9:1 or 9:2, he will just look at his watch like this. Uska wo blazer piche karega, aise dekhega, and he'll just look at you like this. Glare, sirf, nazron se maar dega. Kuch nahi, he will not utter a single word, but message will be loud and clear. Boss, being the owner of the company, I am in time. So being the employee of the company, you should be before time. So develop that habit of reaching before time, unless you have circumstances beyond control. Like Jayashri, if you are coming to the office and if you're stuck in the lift में light चली गई और आप फंस गई, circumstances beyond your control. Okay, रिक्शा में जा रहे हो, आपको कुछ, आपके ऊपर कीचड़ उड़ गया या कुछ ऐसे हो गया. So those are circumstances beyond your control. But then, other than that, you should be before time wherever you go. Always remember, you should be before time. Then you will not come across this situation. And जो लोग ऐसा बाहर करके वो लोग फंसते हैं, अभी ठीक है, अभी कॉलेज में हम लोग भी घर पे बोलते थे मूवी के लिए जा रहे हैं और एक्स्ट्रा लेक्चर है और मूवी के लिए जाते थे. That was okay. Those were the days, and that is the age in which we normally do like this. So that's okay. But then, as I said, जो पकड़ा जाता है वो चोर होता है. वो नहीं पकड़ी गई तो बच गई. So you shouldn't feel कि मैं सच बोलती हूँ तो फंसती हूँ. वो देख झूठ बोल के, हाँ मैं सच बोलती हूँ तो फंसती हूँ. So you can work on it. But वो झूठ बोल के वो निकल जाती है, that is beyond your control. No, it is between her and her boss. You know, many a time student tells me that sir आप तो बोलते हो 7:30 को 7:30 आना चाहिए, but फलाना टीचर है वो तो 7:45 के पहले आते ही नहीं है. So why should we come in time? So my answer to such people is that if that particular teacher is coming at 7:45, it is between me and him. I being the coordinator and he being the faculty. We will sort it out. For you, timing is 7:30. You should be in the class at 7:30. Teacher 7:45 को आ रहा है इसलिए हम भी 7:45 आएंगे, ये लॉजिक नहीं चलेगा. For you, time is 7:30. You better come at 7:30. The teacher comes at 7:45. I will sort it out with him or her. You don't have any right to say that the teacher is coming late. आपका जॉब है 7:30 तो 7:30 आ जाना. Okay. Yeah. So the word is being street smart, intelligent, knowledgeable, and street smart. Okay. So आपको street smart बनना है for surviving in corporates. Street smart doesn't mean fraudulent. Street smart doesn't mean liar. Street smart doesn't mean cheater. But street smart means street smart. You should be able to handle and tackle any situation. You should be able to handle and tackle any situation in life. ऐसे situation बहुत बार होते हैं that, you know, just to give you one example, like I was in L&T and L&T में मेरे साथ एक मेरी colleague थी. She was my senior actually, a couple of years senior to me. And when we were walking across the gate, passing through the gate, there were certain people within the company. They belonged to union, a union supported by a political party. They were sitting over there and they passed some comments. And I lost my temper and I was about to go and confront them. So she just told me, wait, don't go. Come with me. I'll tell you what it is. So she took me ahead and she told me that I also heard what they said, but you should learn how to ignore it. I said, but those comments were aimed at us, so we have to retaliate. And she said, no, don't do that. They belong to a political union. The matter will be blown out of proportion, and you might lose your life also in that. It's not really worth doing it. I said, fine. ठीक है, क्यों बेटा? But the thing was there in my mind कि यार कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा ये solution problem का. When I got an opportunity to meet with one of the top bosses of L&T, I just mentioned to him, I did not say that those guys were passing comments and all that. I asked him, sir, ये गेट पे बहुत लोग आजकल बैठे रहते हैं क्या? I mean, they get free time from their work and all that. So he said, yeah, is it? I've never seen, because he used to sit in a L&T house in Ballarpiyar. कभी-कभी occasionally वो Powai factory में आते थे. I said, yeah, sir. Other day I was going, I saw some people were sitting and I was told that they belong to some political union. And पता नहीं कुछ तो comments, dirty वाले comments pass कर रहे थे. Is it? I said, हाँ, I overheard it. I am not too sure about it. Something happened. I don't know. उसके बाद में अगले 1-2 महीने तक वहां पे कोई नहीं बैठता था. I don't know what happened exactly. कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ चाबी लगानी पड़ती है. No, you should know which key to press so that the door is open. कौन से दरवाजे की चाबी किधर है वो आप you should be smart enough. You should be smart enough to do that. You know, once I was handling one political, or rather, I had a meeting with one of the politicians for settling some matters, and there I gave a reference of one political personality whom I had met 20 years back. And okay, wait a minute.